Yo, it's the Kushed God Smoke DZA, and you here on BagFuel on Hot New Hip Hop.
Hey, Smoke, what's good, G's?
What's goody? What's goody?
What's poppin' with you, God?
I'm chilling. Hynaken, what's up, boy?
DZA, family, man. I was just telling Hot New Hip Hop and ESSO how we first met, and niggas went viral, and you know the freestyle. That freestyle's legendary, like 4 million views and all of that shit. We didn't even know it was gonna do that.
I didn't even know it did 4 million views. That's crazy.
What?
I just learned that today.
Yeah, man, it was a big number for us. That was a big look for both you and I. And I was just telling Rap how, you know, you came in one way and you changed your whole vibe you exposed more of yourself, I think. Let me not say you changed it, the way you came up, man, the culture, you know, of the embracing the weed, the music, everything, man.
Yeah.
The fact, you've seen it from the jump, Hynaken.
Oh, definitely. You, Shice. I still remember Finster, a couple of other dudes I had with y'all. You know, y'all don't all rock on the music like that, but shit is still legendary.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, man, how's it feel, man? You've been jammed up in COVID life, and you know, you really hit the road. I think you one of the first dudes to really show us what Utah looks like, what Montana looks like. That rocks with us. It's different when Kanye doing it, but I'm like, this my nigga Smoke out here. He telling us, yo, y'all don't know about Colorado the way I know about Colorado. So what's it been like since, you know, shit been shut down? You can only do things virtual, Smoke?
I'm not gonna lie, I love it.
Okay, that's interesting.
I wasn't expecting you to say that.
I missed the money. You know, I spent so many years living out of a bag on the road and shit that it's a good reset, and it helped, you know, it kind of like level you back down into just functioning at home, you know what I mean, and making your home your workspace in so many ways. So you know, me not being able to be on the road just made me be more creative at home. So I got my podcast I do out of my spot. I record out my spot. Like everything that's been coming out the last few months, I've been cranking that shit out in my spot, recording myself, sending it out to get mixed, learning how to mix. So I mean, you know, obviously I want to get back on the road because now I got a ton of new material that I try out on my fans and shit, but I don't miss it that much.
Let me talk about your cult following, because when we was talking before you came on camera, I told them I had smoked with you about 4 or 5 times at Shice's house. Didn't even know you would smoke DZA. Then see you at Haas crib. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that's my man right there. And then I found out later by seeing pictures, like, yo, this is Smoke DZA. I'm like, yo, that's my man that I always smoke with when I go to Shice's crib, right? Right? Which is wild to me. You know what I'm saying? So how you think that you've been able to lay low, because you're not out there like, yo, I rap, I'm Smoke DZA, blah, blah, blah. How you think that you've been able to maintain your cult following with your calm nature, with how you move your music through the world?
I mean, my brand is strong and it moves through different spaces, right? So I got the Smokers Club that, you know, I'm a part of and owner of. So that's its own vehicle that moves on its own. I got the wrestling world where I'm big in that. And my fans where I cross wrestling and rap. And then, you know, I just got my hardcore fans that just follow me. From the Currencies and the Wizzes and the Crits and, you know, Dom Kennedy, and us having our own buddy system to where, you know, we all sort of share the same fans. Same with Griselda for me. Like, I'm in a unique space because I live in all those worlds. Now, you know, social media helped it be a little more visible, although I'm not the nigga on social media that does the most or anything at all. I'm only on social media to sell my brand. But the fact that, you know, somebody can go look at your pictures, and I got a tweet yesterday where somebody was like, yo, I just go to Smoke DZA's Instagram to get inspiration for outfits. So I'm staying relevant in different worlds by just being myself. You know what I mean? So I ain't really, it's like you never seen a Bentley commercial, right? But everybody know about the Bentley. Everybody know it exists. It doesn't really need the promotion for it. You know what I mean? It's like, and I feel like my fans they're selfish with me. It's kind of like they want me to be Hove, but they don't want anybody to know about me but them.
I got you.
All my fans is like, you know, it's kind of like Clubhouse, right? Like when people knew what it was, when it came to the masses, yeah, it got big, but a lot of people that was on it from the beginning for why it was special, because only certain people knew about it. It was something that people champion more.
Yeah.
I feel like that's been my career. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of, I would like to say it's not nobody that doesn't know the name Smoke DZA. Now, you're not a nigga that's, again, I'm not a nigga that's always doing the most, so you wouldn't match the face with the name unless you follow me for real. Then you get it. But I pride my career just off my brand and just making certain moves that connect without people really seeing that I connected them. You know what I mean? So that's how I stay current, you know what I mean, and do what I do.
No doubt.
You mentioned Wiz, you mentioned Currency, and you know, Smokers Club, Shiest, and you guys really came in that wave where you blended the lifestyle of how you live the cannabis lifestyle with the music and merged it to the point that it became a cheat code to where I think people just said, I'm going to start smoking weed so I can sell music. Like, what's your thoughts on how people just try to fake the lifestyle to get their records moved?
I mean, it's only but so long somebody could pretend. You know what I mean? And I think fans and supporters, because I separate them, I think they see through the bullshit. And that's how long the shelf life is. If something is authentic, then it has no expiration date, because they know that, okay, this came from somewhere. Like, I feel like a part of the reason that, you know, a lot of the OGs and people will value my word is from the kennel I came from. I came from Shiest. You know what I mean? From, you know, doing certain shit in an era where a lot of these niggas wasn't moving that way.
They wasn't moving at all.
Moving at all, right? So when I see people trying to fuck, I hope my computer ain't fucked up. When I see people trying to wiggle their way into the weed world and attach themselves to it, you know, like everybody else, I look at everybody as competition. That's what I do. You know, it's either I'm gonna fuck with it or I'm not gonna fuck with it, because I'm not a hater. So if it's good for business and the people was fucking with it, then I'm gonna fuck with it too. And I'm a fan myself, and I know how to read through characters and music, so I would know if it's real or not.
Okay.
Then it's on me to embrace it or not. But, you know, most times, you know, people get embraced by the people that's already there to authenticate what they got going on. So then a lot of times when you don't see the people that's in that lane with what they trying to do stand next to them, then I could tell you for itself, like, okay, well, maybe this nigga's not official. Why he ain't got to join with Wiz? He talk about weed. Why he ain't got to join with Spitter? You know what I mean? Why he ain't got to join with DZA? Like, niggas, they ain't gonna think about a nigga like, why he ain't got to join with Snoop? Snoop is the godfather. You know what I mean? Like, niggas like us is working with Snoop. He godfathered us in. So now we new generation, the godfather the others in. You feel me? So it's all with, you know, people can see through the bullshit. So I don't be pressed.
All right, that's fair.
Where did the idea of the Smokers Club come from?
Well, the idea of the Smokers Club came from, well, shit, man. Like I said, I come from the kennel with Bubsy. So the Smokers Club always existed before it existed. You know what I mean? But how it started, as far as how it got commercialized with what we got going.
Yeah, exactly. When y'all decided to make, because Bubs came to me and he told me that y'all had clothes online. I'm talking about a long time ago. He gave me hats, all types of wild stuff, right? And then I was actually up, and that's been my man for years. And I found out from people like, yo, your man touring, he got that Smokers Club thing. And I just was figuring out how was y'all putting it together, because y'all was doing it before the illegal, before they tried to legalize weed. and y'all was still doing it, and it was out in front of people's faces. So what was the idea? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Where did you? How did y'all think that y'all was going to take this the way that y'all took it? Because now y'all was ahead of the game now, but back then it was like, whoa.
So the idea started on the idea came from from us being together. Now we knew we could do it once we executed it. Our first show was it was a premature show. It was at South by Southwest.
Okay.
Late 2009, before we actually went on the road. It was the first Smokers Club show at South by Southwest. And the headline was Devin the Dude, and the undercard was me, Wiz, Spitter, Jay, kid named K Dot, who ended up being Kendrick Lamar. Pac Div. It was everybody that was somebody on the blog era at that time performed at our show.
Okay.
And by the success of that show, that's what built the belief that we could take it on the road. You know what I mean? Really make it a brand. You know, I like to say, like, we got authenticated from having a Shiggity in our world because he was our in with the weed in real life from who he is. You know what I mean? So nobody could check us if it came to pull our coattail.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, from that it spun into the tour, and the tour spun into the festival, and you know, now we own a dispensary in Detroit, working on our second one, Colorado.
Yes.
I mean, we got our clothing doing really well, and all our accessories and shit. So you know, we just building one brick at a time.
No doubt.
What was it like being around a young Kendrick, yo? Because you've been around a lot of dudes before they're like you said, K Dot. There's so many other names where dudes didn't even have their real rap name yet. But you smoked DZA since I met you, and that was years ago. So that's interesting, yo. What was it like being around these dudes when just y'all coming up, y'all getting it out the mud, don't know where the next dollar coming from?
I ain't gonna lie, most niggas that I've been acquainted with, you know what I mean, money don't change you, it just exposes who your character is, right? Mm-hmm. And most of these niggas that I came up with that's been successful is maintained to be the same person. Mm. Anytime I see Dot, it's the same love how I was seeing him years ago. I haven't seen him in a while, but anytime I see him, it's open arms. Same with Q, same with Soul. I'm probably one of the only New York niggas that work with all the TD. You know what I mean? Same goes with an ASAP Rocky, or you know what I mean, a Wiz Khalifa, Big Crit. Like we all got it out. We all from the same school, getting it out the mud, and you know, doing tours and college show and all this shit together. Where you know we all was trying to figure it out, quote unquote, in this new genre of weed rap that never was a genre until
weed rap. I like that weed rap.
The fact.
So yeah, man, I think, you know, being around Dot back then ain't really much changed. Nigga, you know, he's still same solid brother he was back then. So like
I'm sorry. Yeah, let me ask you a quick question, DZA. If somebody came to you right now from a major record label and they wanted to drop a bag on you and they wanted you to come within the label, would you do it?
You know, all money ain't good money, right? But sometimes you got to do what you need to do what you want to do. So, right? So it's all with verbiage. Like if I was going to the label to be a worker, no. But if a label was gonna partner with me, and it was a substantial amount of money that could change my trajectory to what I got going on, then it's something I would consider. But as far as, I mean, I'm happy with what I'm doing, where I'm at. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not flirting with the idea of being signed to a major label, because at this point I don't care. I mean, my wall, I got everything that a major label nigga got in more. You know what I mean? So I'm not really like, I'm not pressed for that look. Gotcha. I want my legacy to live longer than my look. You feel me? So, you know, if something came along, I wouldn't be a fool.
I got you.
But that's not something I'm looking for.
Speaking of your wall, I see you got Sean Kingston. What's good with him? I haven't seen him since, I saw him with his sister right before his record blew up. And his sister had the fat ass beat. Like, she had a cake. I was like, let me see that
shit.
You
still on your bullshit.
Come on. And after that, all his records took off. So what's been good with him, though, man? I think the world needs him come back musically the right way, man.
I honestly don't know what's good with him, to be honest. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen Sean since,
like, it got to be 10 years, maybe.
Nah, after that, I haven't seen him since like 2016, maybe around. He came out. I had a show in Staples, in the Staples Center, and he came through. Smokers Club show, actually.
Okay.
And he came through. I don't know how he is. I assume he's doing well. I haven't seen him in the headlines lately on some dumb shit, so I think he do.
I was about to say.
But as far as how that came along, I did some work for him back then on that first album that went.
Yeah, I remember that album.
The J.R. Rodham, when he was signed to J.R. Rodham and all of them, right? Because that's my guy.
Right. So I worked with J.R. I work with J.R. and I work with Tommy Rodham. Tommy Rodham was actually the guy that brought Sean to J.R. or brought him to the attention of J.R. and Zach Katz at the time.
Zach Katz, yeah, Zach, my guy too.
Yeah, and Zach was representing High Tech right before he got to the situation that he was doing with Beluga Heights. Yeah. He gave me a shot at writing for High Tech at that time. So High Technology Volume 2, all of the stuff that Tech was doing, that was, my work.
Okay.
But I never got credited. So I was salty about it because not only did I get credited, I didn't get compensated. So I was like,
so you didn't get your publicist either? You didn't get your publicist?
I didn't get nothing. You know what I mean? Like, my business was non-existent at that time because it was just me, This is around the time where you knew me, Hynaken, where I'm just, I'm rapping and I'm trying to make something of myself, but I didn't really understand the business. From that situation, with seeing how it worked as far as, how I work, Zach gave me the opportunity to work with this new kid that he found in Miami that Tommy brought over to him, which happened to be Sean Kingston. And I had the honor of working on, I had 5 records that landed on the actual album that I wrote.
And that album went big too. He sold some units on that joint. That was his biggest joint.
Yeah, that was his biggest album. He sold over 500,000 copies. So he went over gold. I feel like Beautiful Girls and shit like that, platinum.
But you got 5 records on a gold album. That's a nice publishing check, G's. I know how to calculate that, G's. That's a nice check right there.
But it helped me learn more of not only that, but just knowing that, when an artist is commercial like that and having commercial success and like performing at like McDonald's events and shit like that, that's where the money is really at. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not really in everything else that people think it is. I'm still learning the business up to this day, different tiers of it. But it was a good chance to have that in my resume. You know what I mean? The trophy to look at, but that was those times. New times.
Yeah, because see, the business is pretty much my specialty, right? So I use what I've learned in the business for 15 to 20 years, and I use that now for in front of the camera, because that's the missing piece of the whole puzzle. It's not the camera, it's the business that goes with the camera, right? So I just need to ask you, what's the money commandment that you personally live by? Because you are on your own out here in the music business for real. So what's the money commandment that you live by that keeps your money flowing in your pocket?
Well, what keep my money flowing is to just constantly put out music. This day and age is all based on streams. So, Like my computer right now, like I study Spotify,
Mm.
and I'm studying not only my numbers, but I'm studying everybody else's numbers. I'm studying that I work with. I'm studying everybody's numbers, just because, you know, when you go into these offices, look, I just got off a Zoom call about, and when they dictate what they're gonna give you or what your spends are, it's all about numbers. They all, you know what I mean? So with that being said, for me personally, I'm looking at the numbers too, because I want to know what I can command outside of that. So, you know, me putting out projects frequently right now, I'm streaming 1.1 million monthly listeners on Spotify. So round that up around and maybe like 5 million monthly listens on all DSP or whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my goal is to get that to 2 by the end of the year. The way I'm going to do that is by putting out music and attaching myself to artists that have big streams.
Gotcha.
I'm probably giving away too much game, because my brother over here.
You hear me? I stopped talking.
I'm probably giving away.
Don't be switching now, DZA. This is why niggas come on with us.
I don't see this, so I'm gonna scale back, but because I gave away too much. But outside of that, it's many other things that I do to continue to keep my shit going.
Oh man, what a remix, DZA. What a remix right now.
I mean, this is the remix. So what I already got my I already got my shit going. So, you know, I'm just trying to fuck with niggas that got their shit going like me.
Right.
Yo, DZA, what's a crazy smoking story you got? Like, because everyone says, yo, smoking with Snoop is a different experience. He has a different level of weed that knocks niggas. He rolls blunts the size of U-boats or whatever. So I just want to hear an experience from you where you like, yo, this is some real shit right here.
I'll give you some good shit, because I feel like everybody be giving the Snoop story, and Snoop, that's Uncle Snoop.
Okay, let's go.
However, I learned, and I got my intake from smoking with Bubsy. So I was already seasoned by the time I got to Snoop.
Mm-hmm.
So that, you know, it was really just the Goo Gaga is just being Snoop Dogg. I'm always on my level. I'm always, you know what I mean? So it was really because I was smoking with Snoop. But a good weed story I give you, Hynaken, is I got my good friend Pete Davidson.
Okay.
Right. I haven't seen Pete in a while, but that's the homie.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I don't get him in trouble.
Yeah, don't worry, we'll figure it out.
But you know, when he was at Saturday Night Live, I used to go check him during the show or whatever, like during the filming process of it at the NBC building. And you know, that's my man. Like, you know, we link on the music frequency, and we link on the vegetable frequency. You feel me? Follow. And you know, his room was the John Belushi room. That was the room that John Belushi actually that was his dressing room, his warm-up room between scenes in NBC, and that was Pete Davidson's room.
Yeah.
And during the takes, I was smoking weed, and, you know, we was having ciphers and shit. So I thought that was the coolest shit ever, not only because it's Pete Davidson and he was a part of Saturday Night Live, but the fact that I'm burning in the room that John Belushi was in his tenure of Saturday Night Live. So I feel like a lot of rappers can't tell no stories like that. They'll give you some cliche shit with smoking with another rapper. I was smoking with an actor in a famous actor's dressing room at Saturday Night Live. So if you got some hand signals or some shit, I need some noise or some shit, some horns.
and none of the white people or NBC or the upper execs came to you? Because I remember when I was on the Maury show in the audience, I had a mixtape and I was promoting it. And they sent a bunch of goon lawyers to take me to some back room shit and hem me up and all this other shit. So I thought somebody might have been like, excuse me, Mr. DZA, you have to come back to the room with us.
Nah, I wasn't there as a civilian. I was there
he's with Pete Davidson, though.
Oh, you know me.
Star of Saturday Night Live. So that I wasn't on the same floor with Kenan Thompson and everybody else. Belushi's room, he had his own floor.
Okay.
So what we was doing is that was just what we was doing. You know what I mean? It was pretty
down. Yo, what's the craziest purchase that you made when you got your first big check, G's?
I'm frugal, man.
Let's go.
I'm a frugal nigga. I don't make fucking crazy purchases. But I want to say
you bought something crazy before, DZA. Come on.
I got a lot of jewelry, so I would say I guess my jewelry. You know what I mean? For now, I hate talking about shit like that because it make me just feel like a fucking pootie. You know what I mean? Like
you can say you bought your mama a house with your first big check. Crazy don't mean dumb.
I didn't. I didn't do that yet because I still got more big checks to get. I don't think I got my last big check. So, you know, with the money I've been making, I've been blessed to make money, you know, consistently and stay current during these times. You know, really my lifestyle, that's the most expensive shit I spend my money on. You know what I mean? How I live.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on how crazy Uptown been looking, Harlem been looking the past couple of weeks in the news? Niggas wilding out, fighting girls, doing crazy shit, and that's your territory. And you know, we all came up in a different era, different vibe, where you had to carry yourself differently up there, talk a certain way. Otherwise, you're just gonna get jammed up. How you like it? How your territory's been moving the past couple of weeks, man?
I mean, I don't think nobody's happy with that because that could be anybody's mother or sister, or girlfriend or wife. I mean, so nobody's happy with what they see on TV or what they hear. However, like you said, you know, we all grew up in different eras. Although I'm from there and I'm connected to there spiritually, I'm not there. So, you know, these young kids move with a different kind of bop. I don't fuck with it. I don't think nobody my age or you guys' age fuck with that either. So it's pretty much like, you know, like every fucking tree is a bad apple or bad apples. So it's like, who's to say that the niggas is even from Harlem? Because it's a lot.
Brooklyn, they said from Brooklyn.
I believe it because niggas go hang out other places with. He could have had a cousin from St. Nick, and he was over that cousin and did that dumb shit. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not defending where I'm from because at the end of the day, ain't no street sign with my name, so I'm not getting bread from defending that shit. I don't give a fuck. Not to say I don't give a fuck about the situation because I do, but I don't give a fuck about who's from where and what's what. But I'm just saying, like, you just don't know. I haven't seen anybody that came up and said, "Oh yeah, that's such and such from Harlem is small. It's 55 blocks. Everybody know everybody."
That's
that
true.
Shit who's on the internet. I ain't seen not one person say, "Oh, that's such and such from Oh yeah, I know this little nigga. He be at I never heard that. So that lets me know that this nigga might be a UFO.
Yo,
nigga,
I'm sorry. I must have
what you about to say, yes?
It's like a delay or something. Yo, didn't you just do a joint with like Jim Jones and them or something?
Yeah, on my last album, I got a record called Tradition with Jim Jam.
How come y'all don't do more the shit together? Because the synergy sounded crazy.
I love them niggas. I mean, I got mad records with Killer. Me and Flea I got a few records with Jim too. So that was just my first time I got them both together on a record. That was special for me within itself. But I mean, I'm sure we'll cut more records during the times, you know what I mean? God willing, you know? So it wasn't something that was just done one time that we didn't strike. Funny shit, before this record, I want to say around the times of the Diplomat reunions when they started to get back cool again, Jim and Cam. I was the first nigga in the studio with them niggas when they started speaking again.
Oh, wow.
And it was a record that they was working on that ended up coming out on Flea's. I think his last project, that Shooter, ended up being on. And I was supposed to be on that record, and I fumbled. I was there till like 4 a.m, and I was stargazing, just so happy that these two niggas, I'm just in the building with this, and these niggas is like, yo, you got a verse for this? And I was stuck on 14 bars. Well, I should have just laid it and just went and did the next 2 later. But I just wanted to get it right and wanted to be perfect so much that I fumbled it. And the next day, them niggas called me on 3-way and was teasing me. But I thought it was the illest shit that I could even have the opportunity to even get a record like that. To fucking years later, they ended up doing it on my record. So
it came back around.
Full circle.
I'm gonna ask. This is my last question, man.
I got one more after you.
Yeah, and come on, DZA. I know it might get you in trouble, but you smoke with so many legendary motherfuckers. You know, Cam, Jimmy. You know, Currency, Wiz, Legends, yourself, Shice Bubs.
No.
Out of all these people, whose stash of weed did you enjoy dipping in the most? Like, yeah, let me get this shit right here. Come on, nigga.
Well, is this a trick question?
Yeah, I'm dead.
I'm gonna answer for you. It's Shice shit. I'm gonna answer for you.
But I don't see them other niggas every day.
Oh, okay.
I don't see them other niggas every day. Those is my niggas from out of town. This is my big brother in real life. I'm waving
Put my man back on the screen real quick, DZA. Put my man back on the screen.
What?
I'm not gonna say your real name, nigga. I'm just gonna let it be regular.
What's up? Campus alumni, what's poppin'?
Of course, G's.
My nigga ran the model, what's up? Hynaken, what's good?
What's good? Congratulations on the new blessing too, man.
My nigga ran the model, what's up, baby?
Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Get off the screen now. Get it.
It's me.
Yo, DZA, my last question, DZA. What's next for you? Tell us what's next. What do we got to look forward to besides dropping the music?
Our dispensary in Detroit.
Okay.
Smokers Club dispensary. Our business in LA that we're expanding. Smokers Club. My podcast. Anybody listening? The Personal Party Podcast. Co-star my brother show Broadway. Follow us on Spotify or DSPs, YouTube. Like, rate, subscribe, fuck with me. More game than gossip, you know what I mean? And just my music is always the over and under. It's always gonna be over and under, you know what I mean? So just keep your eyes peeled, you won't miss nothing. And smoking good weed. I'm just here.
Yo, you know who you need to have on your podcast, man? He just did an interview with Joe Rogan, The Undertaker.
Yo, that was, that's
listen to me. Watch that shit. It's
lit.
I already know his man is the Godfather. See, a more realistic guess for me that I can see happening is the God, right? Because the Godfather has his own strain of marijuana. He's into that world. And, I could see us connecting in a conversation. Yeah. I would love to have The Undertaker or any of these WWF wrestlers on my shit because you guys know how much I care about that.
Of course.
But, right now, more realistic target for Smoke DZA and the Personal Party Podcast will probably be the Godfather. So, yeah, but I fuck with that. I gotta get on that Dana White level. I meant that Joe Rogan level to get the Undertaker.
Even from a business standpoint and from a fan standpoint, a supporter, watch that shit because you looking at the nigga like that's not the Taker talking.
Oh no, I watched it. I watched Calloway talking. You know, I watch all this shit, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I watched it.
Oh, okay. So who? Yo, is this Smoke DZA?
That's him.
Thank you. Is that ESSO?
That's him.
Thank you. Hot new hip hop. Smoke DZA.